Hello, and welcome to week 6 of the Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Randomizer Tournament 2024, where we've been trying to answer a very important philosophical question. What if Rando, but the Ying didn't steal our stuff? Hi, Marion.
Oh, I thought you were still going to keep on going. Okay. That's a very interesting introduction, if I do say so myself. All right. With that being said, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us once again at SpeedGaming for the continuation of Week 6 of our Echoes tournament. My name is Marion, and joining me today is do not put me on pizza, or better known as Pineapple. How are you today?
I'm tired. I have a headache and my fingers hurt.
Oh, well, maybe this race will help soothe your aches and pains and give you some smiles and joy to help relax with, all right? With that being said, once again, we are in week 6. As Pineapple stated before, we are answering the time-old question. What happens if the Ying don't steal our stuff? That was a good opening, though. I'll give you that. I didn't think of that.
I had that planned for a few weeks.
That was good. That was really good. So, what does that mean? Well, long story short, in any percent or 100%, we do what's known as a trick called item loss skip. Now, what that entails is over in Hive Chamber B, a few rooms on the opposite landing site, there you meet Dark Samus for the first time, you go through the portal, and you lose all the equipment the game gives you to start off with.
You don't actually, you skip losing the items in 100% because you need to go to that room to get an item.
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
And it does happen.
That's fair, 80%. My bad. But we do item loss skip and we keep all the items. This preset emulates that. Now what that means is we start with a selection of items. This includes missile launcher, space jump, boost ball, and spider ball.
And I think there's something else as well. Hold
I believe so. I need to find where it is. With that being said, runner's agreements for today. On the left in the blue corner, we have RicoV53, and in the right corner, we have Steve. So don't worry, we got a fantastic race going at each other. Now, there is a runner's agreement for required main missile launcher. That runner's agreement does nothing. It is voided. We start with main missiles, so that agreement is, well,
it's missile launcher, morph ball bombs, boost ball, spider ball,
bombs. That's what the other one is. Morph ball bombs. I couldn't think of that. With that being said, runners agreements, we are on new patcher and new patcher for 1. Number 2, multiplayer items are shuffled, and number 3, we use progressive grapple. Now, what is progressive grapple? Well, very simply,
there's 2 grapple launchers in the seat. The first one you pick up will give you grapple. The second will give you screw attack.
Correct.
And the runners are off.
We must find grapple beam in order to get screw attack. So with that being said, those are our runners agreements for today. We're going to keep on moving. We're going to get this race started. So as I always say, get your drinks ready, get a bottle of water or something to stay hydrated, sit back, relax, and let's enjoy the fun. And right away, the Hive Chamber gates are locked, so we do have to go through Hive Chamber A and B. So we got a little bit of a walk.
There's no Dark Missile Trooper here yet, though, so they'll have to come back for that.
Correct. Dark Missile Trooper is locked by Bomb Guardian. We must defeat Bomb Guardian for this check to spawn. So, runners are going right for Hive Chamber B. This will be their first item. Now, usually in this week preset, this 90% of the time gives us Violet Translator, as we need Violet to do practically anything in this side of Temple Grounds. Will it be that way today? If Steve can get in the Morph Ball Tunnel, yeah, it's Violet Translator. Yeah, of course it is.
Is that the only check in Sphere 1?
In order to get here, no, we could do Temple Assembly Site due to space jump logic, and we could go to communications area based on bomb logic. So there's 3 possible item checks we have right off the bat.
And we're heading to the other 2.
Correct. Now, I would say most likely what these runners will do, they're going to scan the industrial site gate here. That'll be on the right side, right behind the crate. We'll get a Cursed Lakes key bearer knowledge, and then we will check transport to Aegon for the item and the Violet Translator hint. So first things first, a key bearer for a Cursed Lake. A Cursed Lake has a key. Oh, that could be a red key. That could be
a white key.
It could be anything. Oh, and yep, chat's pointing out that storage cavern B is open due to missiles and compound and everything else. So transport to Aegon. This will be our first E-tank. Wonderful. Always love seeing energy.
Meanwhile, Rico, this is storage B?
Storage cavern B, yep.
Unlimited beam ammo. That'll be useful once we get some beams.
Alright, and real quick, we did get information for our Violet Translator hint off of Transport to Aegon, which stated, a progressive suit is in storage C. So,
Where's storage C?
That is locked by super missiles in Aegon, all the way in Aegon Labs. We need super missiles and preferably screw attack, but we can get it with boost ball and spider ball. But we do need supers to unlock the door. Oh, there's our grapple beam. All right, grapple beam is on communications area. That's going to be big for Rico, as that gets us the next progressive for screw attack.
What was that in Mining Plaza?
Was not able to see that, but Keeping Reliquary has beam related. With a power bomb expansion.
In Mine Station Access.
Correct. So right away, we're seeing two different routes. Steve has decided to go against the later side of Temple Grounds and Great Temple, and has decided to go right for Aegon Waste, which is paying off thanks to finding those power bomb expansions. Now, power bombs are going to be great for a Temple Grounds loop later, as that'll get us right into Dynamo Chamber and into GFMC Compound since we're on New Patcher. Further, but Rico decided to go right for Temple Assembly Site, and we're finding out that...
into the... Steve rolled into the cannon by accident, but that is a Dark Aegon key in Portal Access A. And that is another missile in Temple something. One of the corridors to Great Temple. Hi, Albert.
Hello, Albert the Dark Alpha Splinter, or as someone called him, the ETM Guardian. I'm not entirely sure who called him that. I know someone from chat did a few races ago. I'm just stealing their name, so much credit to them, whoever thought of it. Alright, so with that being said, Rico's over in Great Temple going to fight the Dark Alpha Splinter.
So you know what's
Meanwhile,
really rude about that name, ETM Guardian?
Well, I mean,
this
weapons
is
are full of
actually a
guardians.
boss, unlike a couple of others.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I know this is where you get the ETM vanilla, which does actually absolutely nothing and doesn't even count for percent. There's the grapple.
Alright, so grapple beam on Bomb Guardian.
And in comms area, so that's early screw attack.
Correct. Unfortunately, Steve does not have the second progressive grapple. Steve will have to go back to Temple Grounds to get that later. And here we see Rico doing one fancy trick. We're on the opposite side of Temple Sanctuary. This way Albert is unable to hit us, but thankfully the collision is only one way, so we can still shoot at Albert. We're
standing outside the barrier. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, we use space jump to get over the barrier, and we're standing outside it.
One very important thing, though, if you do space jump over the barrier, don't leave the room, because and that would be very, very bad, because that was Dark Beam.
That's going to be huge for Rico when he goes to Aegon Waste for the first time. Two reasons. Number one, Dark Beam opens a good chunk of doors, a mine shaft in Cache 4, also and Aegon Labs. Absolutely, we get Dark World access. And number 2, upon defeating Bomb Guardian, we're going to come across Screw Attack. So Rico's in a really good prime position for a first loop of Aegon. Steve, unfortunately, will have to go back to Temple Grounds and then reroute an additional tour of Aegon due to lack of Dark Beam and Screw Attack.
Quadraxis is half dead. Wait, you said prime position. Isn't that the wrong game? This is Echoes.
Okay, that's fair, but still, this is technically called Metroid Prime 2. Prime is in the name, so I'm still calling it that.
And 2 is a prime number still. Calling out Nintendo here.
Alright, real quick, in a Violet Translator on Umos, Quadraxis has a Dark Ammo. Quad is half dead. We do have to find the hint for Tumos, though, to get a confirmation on Quadraxis.
Or bullying pirates of this boost ball.
That's fair. Yeah, boost ball does a good chunk of damage.
Does it still do the ridiculous amount of damage that it does in Prime to Ridley?
No, it does not do quite that much damage. Alright, so with that being said, especially with unlimited beam ammo, that's going to help Rico out, since we don't ever have to worry about our ammo count, period, for the rest of this game.
Well, we still have to worry about missiles, but...
That's fair. Missiles is going to be a bit of a headache. But here we see... here we see Steve pulling off a nice trick. I like doing this. It's a very easy trick to do, and this was Portal Skip. Or Portal Terminal Skip. And we see Sky Temple Grounds with the Cursed Lake has a key. We will have to note that for later, as there is a strong possibility that it's a Sky Temple key. But for Portal Terminal Skip, the game only checks to see if you destroyed the third sand block of the puzzle. That's what the cutscene's tied to activate the portal cutscene.
And with Space Jam, you can very easily just get to the third one with a standable on the outside. I say standable, but you're standing on it in a ball form, and then break the lock that way.
That's fair. We're using standable terrain and a slope jump to just bypass the entire puzzle.
Wait, Storage C is the one in Bioenergy, isn't it?
Correct. Storage C is the one off of Bioenergy locked by supers.
Yeah, I remember you said locked by supers, and I've only just realized which locked by supers that meant.
Yeah, it is the only super lock check in the entirety of Aegon Wastes, outside of Warrior's Walk, which is Dark Aegon.
So Crossroads just has a missile expansion, it looks like. So that's not too much to worry about, which... Well, they have boost ball anyway, so...
Alright, and Steve is continuing through Dark Aegon. We're just going to bypass Jump Guardian. We'll come back to him later. But first, we're going to go check Trial Tunnel. We'll see if the Broom Closet has anything. Yeah. Yep. Meanwhile, Rico's moving through Aegon for the first time. Is in a better position than Steve, just for this early routing.
Steve might be a hitter a little bit. Unless there's an energy tank in the Broom Closet.
Looks like just an ETM on Mining Station A, so we're not going to worry about that. Oh, but that's our Emerald Translator off of Broom Closet. That'll be great when we get to Torvis later.
That'll be great if we can get out alive with it.
Alright, so now that Steve's completed the Broom Closet check, we're going
time
right...
to give Jump Guardian a headache.
Pretty much. We're going right for Jump Guardian. Now, this skip is done in almost every preset. There's usually no reason to not do this trick, just because it's so simple to perform. So what we're doing here, in front of the statue happens to be Jump Guardian's hitbox. Now, upon first entry of Judgment Pit, the hitbox is spawned in. That way, when you start the cutscene, that's right where Jump Guardian will start. Now, for whatever reason, with the hitbox being spawned in, we can do damage to it. We're able to get Jump Guardian down to 1 health point, start the fight, and then just fire a lemon at Jump Guardian and destroy the boss fight due to citrus overload.
You make it sound so easy.
It is quite literally that easy. All you need is bombs or space jump to do this trick. But now we're going to start the fight. Jump Guardians could have little to no health.
This is a little bit more than ideal, but...
Okay.
You don't even need to be standing next to Jump Guardian either, but it's just convenient because there's a safe zone there.
You can just shoot him from the first level. Oh, look at that! Ah! Alright, that's pretty good. I mean, we can immediately check Warrior's Walk and Battleground because of that.
Yeah, the only problem is that we only have 5 missiles, so we're not going to get reliable missile drops for a while, apart from those 10 that just got picked up.
Yep, and there's a missile expansion off
we
of...
can probably want, yes.
Yeah, Junction Site. Yeah, but those supers are really great location. Meanwhile, Rico's coming off of the base of Incash 4. Did not appear to have anything major on it. Oh, that's because we haven't checked it yet. I was looking at the room backwards.
Cannonball.
Oh, cannonball. Oh,
that's
well.
Hopefully we don't need it before we lose it.
And Rico thankfully did not destroy the Lightbringer. That means this run is safe. We do not want to destroy that Lightbringer just because it isn't doing anything bad. It's simply sitting there.
It looks like a about to lose cannonball. Wait, no, that's not a cannon.
Oh, that's a red key off of Battleground. Well, that could be an Aegon key. That could be a Torvis key. Who knows? Now, as far as Cannonball goes, Cannonball's great to have. It just depends on where you find it. Thankfully for Rico, it's in a good position and we're safe. Number 1, super missiles so that we can get through Warrior's Walk. That's great. And we can just screw attack over into Battleground and bypass the Inclaws. Number 2, with Cannonball, we're going to find screw attack off of what do you call it? Off of Bomb Guardian.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, Bomb Guardian, yeah.
And that'll allow us to bypass most of the cannons. The problem is
the main one.
Yeah, Sand Canyon and Portal Terminal, really. Portal Terminal, we're going to have to take the long way around through Mining Plaza if we want to keep Cannonball.
So Rico's now doing the Jump Guardian loop. Taking advantage of Cannonball means you can roll through the dark ether without having to worry about damage. Steve is now checking Transport Center, I think this is.
It is.
There's another cheeseburger.
Now, to touch on Cannonball just a little bit further. Cannonball does 3 things. Number 1, whenever you're in Morph Ball mode, you take 0 damage. You're practically invulnerable, aside from special circumstances. Number 2, you get a mock Boost Ball effect, which does nothing since we start with Boost Ball. But if we didn't, then we could use Cannonball as a Boost Ball as well. And then number 3, certain enemies, Resbits, the Chica Adults, and the quads, the little mini quads, Certain enemies take 500,000 hit points of damage per frame.
Res bits take 4 times that.
And I see we have a question here posed by Marker's Mask, one of our tournament runners. He's saying, is there ever a time in this preset you don't want to clear early temple grounds first? Well, I would say no. There's usually never a time that you don't want to clear temple grounds. And here's why I say that. With this preset, you're starting with Boost Ball, Spider Ball, Space Jump, and Bombs. Because of Bombs, that gets you into Communications Area. Because of Space Jump, that gets you into Temple Assembly Site. If you stumble across Power Bombs along your way, that's great. You get into Compound. But either way, you're still getting a good handful of checks. And this early on, you want to find as much as you can get. As well as the Violet Translator hints off of Umos 1, and, well, that's probably the only one in that loop. But there's still so much information and checks in early temple grounds with Great Temple. There's so much there that you really want to have as much as you can before diving into a region. Alrighty, so with that being said, we're going to utilize Cannonball to just roll right into Battleground. Rico's debating, do I really want to get that key now or leave it for later? That looks like we're leaving it for later. In the flip side, Steve has returned from his trip in Aegon Waste and is going into Temple Grounds.
I think Rico may have wanted to scan that, but was maybe worried about the
Ink Storm, yeah. Or the Ink Claws.
Well,
yeah, in order to
just
scan
the
that.
right in there, isn't it? I think.
Oh, that too, yeah. We're running low on health. We only have one E-Tank. Now, the stats are that in order to scan the key, we would have to be in Battleground itself. And unfortunately, there's just not enough space.
I was wondering why that wasn't scanned. So Steve is now doing part of this loot area.
Communication area.
Well, this would be accessible without power bombs. We're just taking the route that uses them. And there's
Screw Attack. There's Screw Attack for Steve. Alrighty.
And Ding Reliquary has being related. I think you read that. That was scanned earlier, wasn't it?
Yep. And now we're going to utilize our newly acquired Screw Attack to break into GFMC Compound. Because we are on New Patcher, Trooper Security Station is in second layer. And because of that, we do need either Power Bombs or Screw Attack to break the gate. Unfortunately, Rico did not do GFMC Compound due to the lack of both Power Bombs and Screw Attack upon first pass.
In the box, which we're going to duplicate.
And yeah, here we see a nice trick known as item duplication. Now, this trick is very specific. In order for this trick to work, there's a few requirements. Number one, the item must be either A, a progressive item, or B, any sort of ammunition, which increases count. That includes energy tanks, missile expansions. It does have to be in the box.
And now, you also need to get it before doing the Where Did All the Soldiers Go cutscene.
Correct. We skip the cutscene by jumping over the cutscene barrier. We'll just jump around it on the ledge to the left where the missile door is, get the crate item, start the cutscene, then get the crate item again. And this FTA hint tells us a Morbus has a missile expansion, so a Morbus is half dead.
Completely dead because Mining Plaza is light ammo. Thanks to chat for scouting that one out.
Now, to continue with that little cutscene trick, the reason we're able to do that item duplication is thankfully due to the cutscene itself. That cutscene has a trigger in it where it respawns the crate itself and the crate's item. So because of that, we're able to get the item twice, which is absolutely fantastic. If you ever have a suit or progressive grapple on it, that's instant light suit or instant screw attack.
Steve is tried a few times to peek the FTA item, but wasn't able to see it, I believe. But now,
Oh, very interesting route.
This is main sacrifice, yeah.
Steve, be careful with the turret. Oh, that's a painful death.
Well, at least there is an Aegon save.
Unfortunately, that means we do have to go back to Temple Grounds and do the entire loop again. And a big old F in chat.
Doesn't look like we lost a lot. I'm not sure if Rico is happy to see that second progressive grapple.
I would say he is. And finding Screw Attack. Screw Attack is one of the best items in Echoes.
Oh yeah,
it is used for so many tricks.
So the good news is I don't think Steve lost any major items in that. Maybe just a couple of ammo items. So it's not too far back.
Now, Steve did lose that second progressive grapple for Screw Attack. Unfortunately, we do have to recollect that. Yeah, we'll get it right off the normal travel. Now, some of you may be wondering what just happened. Well, I'll tell you. Steve just went to Sank Entrance. He's playing off the logic of Emerald Translator off a Broom Closet. Emerald Translator plus Boost Ball, Spider Ball, and Space Jump. Yeah, that gets us, and Power Bombs, that gets us into Sank Entrance. Now, what happened was when Steve entered the tunnel, he used a Boost Ball. And that boost ball, unfortunately, was right in the turret's path. There's two little sentry turrets on top of the gate. And because Steve used boost ball, once that boost ball ended, the turrets just started open firing, and there was no time for Steve to recover. He was right underneath both of them, allowing both turrets to deal massive damage to him.
So now, central mining station for Rico while Steve goes back and picks stuff up again.
Alrighty, so that being said, central mining station. Rico's going deeper into labs. Gotta love it because we have Dark Beam and Screw Attack and Supers. So right off the bat, we're going to be able to get practically every single check here in labs, and almost everything in Dark Labs. Granted, we can only really check now. We can peek where in Cache 3 where Light Beam usually is. We don't have Light Beam, so we can't get it.
Well, it was in Cache 1.
Oh, that's 1? Oh, I was off by a few.
E-Tank in central mining station. We're going to want that, I think.
More energy will always be accepted.
K-Roy, does every seed really have to be super challenging to the point that it makes runners consider if they want to keep playing this game? I don't think that they have to be.
Oh, is that a translator on Grand Wind Chamber?
I cannot tell. Let me check the...
It looked like a translator, maybe Cobalt, possibly maybe Dark Visor. It looked like a HUD system for sure.
Definitely some sort of visor model. It might actually be Dark Visor. That's Seeker missiles, meanwhile, for Rico. In what room is this?
Storage B.
That's a very useful find for later on. Mostly because we don't have to go looking for it.
Oh, I love what this means for Rico. Rico's is in an amazing position right now.
Oh.
Because two things. Number one, Rico's about to get the suit off of Storage C thanks to supers. Number two, we have both supers and seekers. Instant
hints, yeah.
We can immediately go get our Sky Temple key hints without needing Light Beam. We can go through Hall of Honor Dead.
Meanwhile, Steve is very interested in this item of Grand Windchaser. He's trying to use a standable to screw attack to land on another standable to get it.
Yeah, this trick is extremely precise. There's two different methods to do this. One is a triple bomb jump method. The other is this method we're seeing here, which is a screw attack slope jump. We're using the little wing to get a slope jump into a screw attack. Now that'll get us the height that we need to stand on the very corner of where that overhead tunnel ends. Once we land on it, we can make a full 180, turn and look at the item in the Grand Wind Chamber and just screw attack right over to it. Now, the other method is using a triple bomb jump into an instant unmorph, which leads to a space jump, and that gets us enough height as well. That method is a little easier or more difficult. It depends on what your familiarity is with bomb space jumps. But the biggest risk for Steve right now is getting a soft lock. And what I mean is, if he's too far to the left, then his screw attack will get stuck in a loop where he's unable to fall down due to the animation still playing. He won't bonk off of anything. He'll be stuck between two pieces of collision. We do not want that to happen. I've gotten hurt so many times because of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a visor of some sort. I think it's Dark Visor, given what I saw. Meanwhile, Rico has gotten his dark suit and is now going through this laser puzzle, and oh hi, I don't care about the lasers.
Yep, so I stated earlier, Cannonball makes us invulnerable while in Morph Ball. So that's why we're able to, you'll see Rico going right through these laser beams without taking damage. That's because of Cannonball. Oh, and Steve just had, he was slightly too far to the right and slid right off. He's got the height down, it's just the positioning. Meanwhile, Rico did pick up that dark suit off of Storage C that was hinted at earlier, but bioenergy production did not appear to have anything of use.
Steve just went, ah, in chat, in race time chat, so I'm wondering...
I don't blame him.
I'm wondering if the soft lock happens, given that we'll maybe find out in a few seconds, or if this is just keeping on missing this trick.
But with that being said, looks like Rico just cleared sand processing. It only has some ammo expansion, so we are not going to pick that up. We're just going to leave it right behind for it to sit, and we're going to continue into my Dark Samus 1 over in main reactor. And with that being said,
oh no, we do have power bombs.
We do have power bombs. We're going to place them down. And hello, Lenofis with the rating party of 11. Welcome to SpeedGaming for continuation of our Echoes tournament. It's a pleasure having all 11 of you here. Or 12 if you include.
When the fridge door opens, just a missile expansion.
Oh, Lenofis, we were just discussing what you did to Marker's Mark earlier. You might want to stand clear. But either way, pleasure to have you on board.
That is a red key in
main reactor. Yeah, but which key is it? But first we're going to get Dark Oasis. Dark Oasis tells us it's a missile related. Great, we don't need it.
Oh, you're screwing in that way. I've not seen that version.
Yeah, Rico went for the top.
That's the second Morbus key, which we don't need.
I can't recall ever seeing the top method being done. It makes sense.
Yeah, I usually see going in through the hole at the bottom, you leave that puzzle area with. To answer the question, what happened? Steve boosted right past the turret and sank entrance, unmorphed, and died from the turrets.
Steve went bowling against 2 turrets and got a gutter ball instantly. And Steve is still attempting to get this trick off the Grand Wind Chamber.
I'm amused bowling when it's not Super Metroid.
Hey, either that or Metroid Pinball, of all things. Which was a good game, I'll say that. They did pretty good with it. Oh, there's Light Beam. Light Beam on Doomed Entry. That's a bad location for it.
Well, it means that's basically a point of no return, isn't it? Almost.
Yes, this is a point of no return check. Because if Light Beam was not here, there was nowhere else it could have been. We would be stuck here. As we needed either Light Beam or Annihilator to get out, or just Light Beam to go through Warrior's Walk. And that's a vanilla. That's vanilla.
That's the third Aegon kick.
Well, we already have the information that a Morbus has a missile, so we're good on that.
But we're fighting this... Oh, no. I don't think Rico has that information, only Steve.
Oh, that's fair. Rico does not have the information that a Morbus has a missile. That hint was off of FTA. Rico has not gone to that area. So there is a possibility it's 50-50. Rico might do a Morbus.
With unlimited beam ammo, it's not even too bad because you have enough light beam ammo for the whole thing. Steve is now going for the bomb space jump method, I believe. Given this careful positioning. Really wants whatever is on top of Grand Wind Chamber. Doesn't want to come back for it. Is probably going to have to come back for it.
Yeah, the problem with what Steve was trying to do, he had the height down. That was fine. It was just the distance and positioning. We've got to cancel the screw attack just before landing on that collision. That way we fall onto it. We don't use a screw attack and bonk. And furthermore, with that bomb jump attempt, we were trying to get a camera locked so we could get what's known as an instant unmorph, or an instant unmorph. Unfortunately, the camera was just not in the right position to allow it.
Both versions are fairly precise lining up, but in different ways.
So unfortunately, Steve is going to leave that behind. Is continuing to Great Temple, where we find our first STK on Transport A access. So that is our first STK of the race.
And Steve is probably going to save again. Meanwhile, Rico is continuing to do Dark Aegon, found an ammo in Cache 1, left that behind. Which is good because it means not having to deal with additional layers.
Well, and now that Steve is here in Albert, we're going to come across the wonderful item that Albert has for us, which is Dark Beam. Gotta love having Dark Beam. Because dark beam leads to light beam. And Steve's going for a save warp, I assume. Probably going right for key hints.
No, that's Rico going for a save warp.
Right, Rico. I'm looking at the wrong... Right screen, wrong name.
Rico.
Hey, I got it.
Default trying has... missile related. We don't worry about that.
Yep, that's dead. Oh, Steve is real happy to find Dark Beam there. Look at those shots of excitement.
I think Rico's about to run out of missiles.
Yeah, and here's why I said Rico had pretty great routing. Because of that super missile and Seeker Find in Aegon Labs, this routes perfectly to try to go back for...
The light room we found exactly 3 rooms away from... I did not see the room name, but Warriors Walk. Yeah, that is definitely...
and yes, there is some slight... Yeah, there is some slight latency issues with that Rico stream. We apologize.
I did audio switch away earlier, but Rico is fairly solidly in the lead right now, so...
That's okay.
Yeah,
right,
only
chat.
3 out of 5. Where's the Bash Prime emote?
Yeah, a little bit shy on the missiles today. If I was Rico, I would have wasted that last missile to try to get a guaranteed
I think he was
drop.
trying to.
All right, chat. It's that time of the race again. It's time to play Guess That Location. Today we are guessing where all 9 STKs are. Well, technically 8. We know where 1 is. But go ahead. I want to see you. I want to see what you're thinking. Where do you want a Sky Temple key to be hiding today? Personally, I'd love to see one on Airy. Yes, I know you're there, K-Rar. But still, we haven't seen one on Airy in a long time. So that'd be pretty nice to see. Either that or Alpha Block. I just love seeing Alpha Block. It's a good nice little trick. Pineapple, what about you? Where do you want to see an STK at?
Nothing too rude. Because I'm not feeling evil today.
Oh, well, that's not nice. We can't have niceties in our Echoes tournament.
Yes, we can.
And
okay. No.
All right.
Because
we have Under Temple. Oh, that could be Powerbomb Guardian. Right away, we have Under Temple for Key 1. Key 2. Reactor Core. That's practically a freebie.
And I have time to write these down because Rico is pausing long enough to write these down as well.
Next, we have Dark Torvus Temple. Chick is required. Whoever said Chicka, congratulations. You win yourself a prize, which is absolutely nothing. Great Temple, Transport A-Axis. We knew about that earlier from Steve. Key number 5.
3.
Either way.
A Cursed
Lake. All right, so we know that the key on our Cursed Lake is required. We need Dark Visor for that. Hall of Combat.
That's pretty free.
Yeah, that's a freebie. We can get that right away.
Under Temple
again. So both Under Temple checks.
Required.
Jeez, game. I haven't seen a double Under Temple required. Portal Chamber. Oh, that's not terrible.
And Abandoned Workshop.
So Taurus has almost all of our keys then. Aegon got nothing. Aegon got nothing on keys today.
And thank you, Lena, for putting those SDK locations in chat.
So, to those of you who guessed Chica, I know I see there's a handful of you who've mentioned it. Under Temple by Lenofist. I mean, that was... Y'all are pretty on point with the locations today.
Well, there's nothing too horrible in there. There's no Tumos, there's no Airy, there's no Amorbis or Mining Plaza.
Alright, now it's that time where let's go on and figure out what do we need for all these keys. Well, let's start off simple. Transport AXS, we already know we can get. Under Temple, we have both Under Temple items that we need, so that's... We can get now, we have Screw Attack, we have Supers, and we have Space Jump. So yeah, Under Temple's pretty open to us. Reactor Core, we have everything. Dark Taurus Temple, we need to find all 3 Chica keys. Those keys cannot be skipped. And we also need Dark Visor. Dark Visor for a Cursed Lake, Hall of Combat Mastery, Portal Chamber, and yeah, I'd say it's pretty safe to say Dark Visor Go mode. Well, Dark Visor and the Torvus keys.
And Battleground has them. Oh!
Movement system. Oh, that could be that's got to be gravity boost then.
That would be Dark Visor. We don't need gravity for anything, though, do we?
No, not. It would make lower Torvus movement a little easier.
But we only need to go there if we think there's a Chica key there.
Yeah, unless there's 3 locations which are practically hard locked behind what do you call it? Gravity boost. Both transit transit tunnel south, transit tunnel east, and Under Temple 1 on a technicality.
Rico is seeing the HUD system in Grand Wind Chamber. We'll see if he tries to get through it while Steve finds Seekers.
Yep. Seeker missiles are going to lead Steve right to key hints as well, so they'll get the information at the same time. Now, here's the entire problem for both runners. Granted, we have all the STK knowledge, well, at least on Rico's side. The problem is going to be where our Torvus keys are. Torvus keys are locked on a translator hint, so we know we can get their region, but we have no idea what room they could be in. We don't get that exact location.
And we don't have that hit yet.
That's fair, and we've yet to get anything related to it. So it all depends on who finds their Chica keys, who routes Torvus in better, and who takes a small dive into Sanctuary. I mean, Reactor... Oh, wait a second. Reactor Core is the only thing we need in Sank.
Hall of Combat Mastery as well.
Oh, that's right. Hall of Combat on Spider side. You're right.
So Sank entrance is open the front way. Because Steve tried to go there and didn't make it through, but that was just... Turret's gonna turret. But that is open. The side entrance Spider's Treasure does technically require main power bonds to be logical.
Yeah, Rico's a little short on the height today. I didn't have enough height to get that standable terrain.
This. What's the way you're supposed to do this? I don't think I've ever seen it done.
If you were to do Grand Wind Chamber, the room Rico's in, vanilla, you would have to either the intended method is to do this without Screw Attack, and to swap between the Dark Portal and use Boost Ball and Seekers to destroy all the rings. When all the rings are destroyed, you can come back to Light World and the barrier will be released. It takes far too long and way too many missiles to do that normally. Go to Dark World, hit some hit some spinners, use screw attack, rinse and repeat. Yes, absolutely. This is why we're doing the trick to bypass it, as the vanilla method is absolutely terrible, and no one ever wants to do it. Rico's got the height down, but nope, too far to the left. Yeah, a little too short, probably.
That's actually Echo Visor.
Nope, it wasn't too short. He just slid right off too far to the right. Yeah, this trick is hard. You know, they're not doing this on purpose. These two tricks are a little difficult. It's only a tiny sliver for the standable terrain, and as soon as I say that, Rico lands it. Now we just got to screw attack over it. Don't fall off. We got the height. We're good to go. That's Dark Visor. So, okay, Dark Visor in Grand Wind Chamber. That will save Rico a ton of time.
And also, Steve's going to want to come back for that.
Oh, that's a terrible location. Just because you could do it vanilla, it's just that no one wants to do that. So I'm a little surprised that Steve didn't do it.
Steve did spend about 5 minutes trying to.
I know, but I'm surprised he didn't go for the vanilla method on it.
Steve is instead going for the very non-vanilla method of Dark Samus 1.
Yep, as if you manage to get power bombs before you do anything, and sneak power bombs into Aegon Waste. Oh, that's fair. Steve didn't have Seekers before attempting it. That's right, Marker's Mask. Thank you for pointing that out. I completely forgot. He couldn't have done it. He would need to wait back into Light World and Seekers. So yeah.
That means Steve had to do the entry.
Steve had no way of doing that trick at all. So yeah, chat, you're absolutely right. I completely hot dogged that. And there's a Dark Aegon key. We know we don't need that, as Steve has to hit for it. Yeah. No, we do need to wait back to Light World if we do it vanilla. There's Powerbomb expansion. Wonderful Powerbomb expansion. The best type of expansion out there. As we check what's on top of the ship, which is just a little missile expansion.
And now Rico might go to Sank Entrance.
It's entirely possible. I think that would be the best play right now. Leave Torvus for last due to how much is required. I personally wouldn't touch Torvus until you've done some cleanup in Sanctuary and gotten the keys from Hall of Combat and Reactor Core. And the reason I say that is, from going to Sank Entrance, we can go for Spider Side first off of Hall of Combat Mastery. Use that to route in some other checks. Granted, we don't have Echo Visor, so that might hurt us a little bit. No Annihilator Beam either. We could go to Sank Entrance, reroute to Spider Side, do some checks, get Reactor Core last, and then use the lower Torvus elevator if you really want to, but you'd be locked in lower Torvus, so it's a high risk.
Rico not going for Sank Entrance, just went for the hint. Probably not super happy. Well, it means he knows now that the keys he has don't do anything.
That's fair, and the reason I would do Sank first is just because of Chica being required. Yeah, clear out Sanctuary, see if any Torvus keys are over there first. That's the big concern. And unfortunately, no, Steve has not done Doomed Entry yet.
Yeah,
and Doomed Entry is Doomed Entry has Light Beam. Unfortunately, that's going to hurt Steve, as we're doing every check that is not a one-way check. What that means is dangerous actions. We do not want the game to put us in a spot where one location, the only location it could be, is the proper answer. Because going there without a way back to Light World is going to cause some problems. But that's okay, because light beam's over there. Although the problem now, because we have dark beam, Steve could theoretically... Oh, nope, he's got the information for light beam.
Room watering hole. I don't even know which room watering hole is.
I want to say it's by Dark Oasis, sort of. No, that doesn't sound right. Well, I know it's in that. We know it's in that area. We just have no idea. And Steve taking a peek at the maps, trying to think out a route. So no, that hint just saved Steve a walk into Torvis. We can go back to get light beam.
The night beam is in Torvis.
Oh,
unfortunately, wow. Ooh.
Later.
I don't know.
But now Steve is also going for Sky Temple key hints. That's going to help him out tremendously, letting him know what's required.
I did not see if Steve saved at the ship after save walking, so I don't know if this is going to... how much of a setback this one-way trip is. But he's taken it knowing that this is a one-way trip, so...
yeah, he must...
saved somewhere recently.
He must have. There's no way out from here. So we are going to have to do the death warp. So with that being said, I mean, Rico's got some good options left available to him. Yeah, you could do in Phazon grounds. We can check. We could go into Torvis right now if we wanted to, or we go into Sank. I mean, personally, I would say Sanctuary might be a better play, but Torvis also is pretty good. No, you know what? No, I'm going to change that. Torvis would be pretty nice.
That's a good question in chat. What's the motivation for taking a warp, start, and then saving, versus saving where you are? The main thing is, where do you want to be able to reload saves from? There's a thing that you can do called pivot saving, where you save somewhere, then save warp out and check something, and if that's something you check, you don't find anything so that you can just revert to that save. Getting ammo refills at the ship is another thing as well.
I would say it's probably going to be for the route that Steve wants to go for next as compared to previously. Granted, with Aegon having so much stuff in it, that'd be pretty nice. Now this depends. If Steve were to save at the ship, that could route back into a play for... well, it could route right back into Aegon. Well, granted, he was in Aegon last, so that's one of them.
Well, while Steve reads the good news about where these hints are, I will be back in a moment.
And with that being said, everyone is now stuck with just my voice for the next few minutes while Pineapple takes care of what they need to. So I'm just going to sit here and talk and talk and talk. Just giving you constant updates. How does that sound nice? I think it does. So with that being said, Steve is finding out the cursed location of today's Sky Temple keys, observing that, unfortunately, Torvis Bog has way too many Sky Temple keys, and as such, must be eliminated. Which I find sad. You know, Torvis Bog is one of my favorite areas. If I had to pick a favorite area, that's probably going to be hands down either... It'd probably be Skytown over in Elysia and Corruption. That's a great area. But other than that, let's get back to the main event, shall we? Steve's going for Sky Temple key hints, then taking the Death Warp out, as unfortunately, we have no way out through the light portal. Meanwhile, Rico is going through... Looks like we're going right back to Sanctuary, thanks to us having Dark Riser and Seekers. This lets us lower the gate here in... Oh boy, what's this room name called now? Who cares? Well, I care. Regardless, we'll go through Compound, probably going for a Sanctuary play, get some Sank entrance out of the way. Maybe dive deeper into Sank, either way. It's a 50-50 on which one you want to do. We either go to Sanctuary, do some cleanup there in your spider side, divert to Reactor Core last, or maybe you go for Torvusbog because you have Dark Beam, you have Light Beam, you're good to go for either direction. Plus, with Emerald Translator at your disposal, that gets you the Emerald Hints. And because of that, that gets you even more knowledge. So do you go off the knowledge, or do you go off the available hint locations? That's hard to say, you know? There's multiple different options. And Rico doing the exact same thing Steve did! And just took a death at the same location. Was that intentional? Where was the last save? Yeah, that must have been intentional. As we're all the way back in Dark Aegon.
Actually, I don't know if it was intentional, given that he just went in race chat.
I'm so confused. Oh, no, I don't think... Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that was an intentional death warp. Oh, boy. Oh, that means Rico has to go collect the STK off of...
I believe that means also Cannonball has been lost.
Yes, it does, because we're effectively gone.
Did not help there, because it helped while you were still in ball form. As soon as you unmorph, that's... Yeah.
Once you're unmorphed, that's game over.
Oh, dear.
Oh, that was definitely not intentional. Thank you, Tyrannosaur, for pointing that out. We just lost Dark Visor. We have to go back to Grand Wind Chamber and do that trick again. Oh, that is terrible.
Well, the runs are high-fiving, but it's still terrible, yeah.
I wonder if both runners are going to follow the same track, if Steve's going to take a pivot in Windchamber Grandway to go get... I know what I said. If he's going to take the pivot to Windway Chamber Grand
To answer
Central.
the question, what happened? Rico did a Steve on the way to Sank Entrance.
Rico did a screw up. That's what happened.
No, it's exactly the same thing as what happened to Steve.
Yeah, still a screw up. It was bad, you know. You know what? I was not expecting to see a Peanuts reference at all doing these commentator things, but I'm happy to see it because that is a fantastic pun and it works perfectly. So thank you, Metal, for posting that. That was absolutely wonderful. You know what? Who generated this race? I'm gonna go find out.
This is Lucarius.
Oh, that explains it. Alright, so with that being said, unfortunately Rico does have to do this trick once again, the slope jump into a screw attack to land on standable terrain. And unfortunately, for those of you in chat, if you have any quarrels or concerns over today's race, Lucarius Lion is the creator of today's race seed. So please go divert all of your comments towards him. Thank you in advance. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. It's that time of the race again, chat. It's time for your 1 hour rundown. So let's get right down to it. Pineapple, take it away. I'm sorry, I put you right on the spot.
It's an hour in. We need Darkfighter. It's in a very annoying place. Steve can't even get to it the intended way right now. Our SDKs are mostly easy to get to.
Oh, Rico got that a lot faster than he did previous times, so that's good.
Steve needs to go back for light beam, and I'm actually going to get a map. One moment.
All right, many thanks for that 1 hour rundown. But yes, folks, unfortunately, we did have some major hiccups today. Over on the right side of your screen was Steve. Steve, unfortunately, has been hot-dogging Lightbeam this entire time due to its location on Doomed Entry. Unfortunately, we've only recently got the information that Lightbeam is in that general vicinity.
Oh, Watering Hole is the dark version of the security access room where you have to do the bomb slot and the room rotates.
Okay, that makes sense. It's right off of Lightbeam room then.
Yeah, and there is exactly one room that has an item 3 rooms away from it, and that is Doomed Entry.
And we see Steve back in Windchamber Grand Hallway. Attempting to get this trick once again. Hopefully, well, I shouldn't say once again. He hasn't landed it yet. The yet is the key word. He will get it. We got to give Steve all that support. We got to send him positive vibes, chat. And Rico playing it extra safe due to charged Dark Beam before entering. And now we can progress right into Sank entrance without any further hassle. Unless we do a bowling failure and boost ball on the bridge and accidentally clip the phase on barrels.
I have not seen many races this week, so I have not seen what this preset is like or the incidents that have happened.
Oh, Steve was so close, but he slid right off. And yes, chat, we are aware of the slight latency issues on Rico's side. Unfortunately, we do not have the ability to resolve them, so we are sorry about that.
The main resolution would probably be Rico having a more powerful computer, but that's probably asking a little too much.
I feel bad for Steve because I do this trick the exact same way he's attempting, and it is a terrible trick to land. I mean, especially if you're not comfortable with the triple bomb space jump to the instant unmorph. This screw attack's a lot easier. It's just that it's so precise for that standable terrain. And unfortunately, Dark Visor is hard required for a Cursed Lake. We need Dark Visor in order to get keys, or a key. Now, technically, we do need Dark Visor for Chica, as that would be the way out. But if you're feeling risky enough, you can do Chica without Dark Visor. It's just a terrible time with invisible platforms.
I don't know if either of these runners would have the confidence to try to do that in a race. I know there have been some racers in this tournament who have been doing it, but I don't know about these.
It's terrible, to say the least. And Steve is so close to pulling it off, it's just... he just keeps sliding off on the right side. So close, and that's just painful. Yeah, the problem is, the main thing we're trying to do is, right before we land, get near that standable terrain, we want to cancel our screw attack so that we practically fall on top of it. We don't want to screw attack too early because then we'll bonk off of it. And if we screw attack too late, we're just going to fly right past the terrain. So it's very... We got to do a well-timed screw attack cancel just to even get over there. I mean, so he has the height down pat, but being pushed by collision too far to the right, and that's hurting him. Meanwhile, back over in Sank entrance with Rico, we're about to see...
I did not get to see what the item was, but Rico did get a good look at it in the turret.
We're about to see it right now, my friend, and it happens to be our Amber translator.
That'll be very useful.
That's a very, very poor location to find it, though.
After we've done pretty much all of Aegon.
Pretty much. Oh, Steve, at this point, it's hard to say if you should really go to Sank and start doing some key cleanup, or just keep trying to this until he gets it.
Or go back to Doomed Entry.
Or go back to Doomed Entry and get Light Beam, yeah.
Yes, this puzzle would... The intended way requires opening both a Dark Port and a Light Port. So he would need either Light Beam or Annihilator Beam to do this the intended way. And he has seen a hint for where Light Beam is, but he hasn't gone back for it.
No, the problem is where he currently is, and in relation to where the hint was, Light Beam was just so far away. And Rico's decided to continue into Sanctuary Fortress or run right into research. No, I believe this is Reactor Core itself. Yeah, this is Reactor Core, so this will be where the STK is hiding. And I believe in Steve. I know he'll get it. We have to stay positive for him. Oh, and Rico just fell off the top of the glass partition that he needed to stand on.
For the second time.
Yeah, a little bolt of electricity got him, and he just slipped right off.
I should note, this is not the intended way to do this. You're intended to...
Oh, it happened a third time!
I believe you're intended to boost around all of the balls.
Yes, you're supposed to boost around the entire puzzle, which leads you to the proper spider track to just roll right into the item. That's 4 times now for Rico, falling down by the same electric boogaloo slide. And nice cannonball hitting the Resbit along the way.
Oh, so he didn't lose cannonball.
Well, no, the cannonball by the actual cannon itself.
Oh, right, yes.
I don't know why. Steve is just. Oh, I don't know what to say on it. I admire his determination and his will to keep on going. And Rico, there's a much easier method than bomb jumping on top of the glass, my friend. If you boost to the second spider orb, once you reach the top, go to the top here, boost across. Yeah, you can just unmorph and stand on top of it. He just has to boost to the next one. Because unfortunately, right now, he just keeps hitting that lightning, and it keeps pushing him off. Oh, there's a much easier method. Unfortunately, he's not going for it, which is sad. Yeah, this race is just full of bad trick after bad trick. I feel terrible for both these runners. It's heartbreaking to watch. Rico having a hard time here in Reactor Core, just trying to get up. Grant and Steve is trying to bypass the entirety of Grand Wind Chamber by doing this trick. Yep, Rico's going for a modified version of this trick by jumping on top of a piston. There we go. Alright, so Rico's got the key.
Don't think I've ever seen that version of it.
Hey, when in doubt, go for what you can. As the famous saying in all of Echoes is, if you think you can stand on it, if it looks like you can stand on it, Then you can stand on it.
And if it doesn't look like you can stand on it, you might still be able to.
Alright, come on, Steve. You've got to get this. You've got to get this trick, my friend. You cannot keep falling down. Meanwhile, Rico's back in Hall of Combat Mastery. There's that SDK, so that makes key number 2. And we'll be doing a little bit more of cleanup. We'll be checking Spider's Treasure. We'll be going for main gyro chamber. That'll lead into Sanct Temple access. We get to say hello to our good friend O'Lear. Rico just going for a screw attack method to get into that tunnel. Got to be careful though, because the one wrong move and that'll push him right back out. And I think it's just safe to say at approximately 21:17 hours, which is just about 30 seconds ago, Steve is now yelling in the race time room. We're unable to repeat. A little
bit more swearily than before.
We're unable to repeat his words due to the language filter on today's channel.
But let's take you to the language barrier, but that was 2 weeks ago.
No!
Oh no! I think that's
so
what
close!
The swearing.
He bumped off the top of the ledge! And then pushed him right back out. He had it! Oh my gosh! Steve! Oh, that is heartbreaking. Oh no. He had it. He had the trick. He had the screw attack down. Unfortunately, because he was so low, there's a platform that Sunburst sits on top of the actual main unit. And he bonked off the corner of that platform, which pushed him back because of screw attack's knockback on collision.
Is that where Sunburst is in vanilla?
Yes. Yes, it is. That is where.
I knew that.
This is where Sunburst usually is.
That explains why it's such an annoying puzzle to get it.
And speaking of annoying puzzles, Rico is going for a modified version of Hall of Combat Mastery's puzzle skip. There's 2 different methods that we can use for this trick. Number 1 is the method Rico's going for, where you screw attack into the hole, and then just get the instant morph to roll into the item.
The other one is where you jump, morph, and hit the spider trap, right?
Correct. Trick number 2 is a lot easier, in my opinion. I think Rico should just try to go for that instead. Whereas we'll get ourselves on an angle and jump at the spider track. Now, once we're on the spider track, we get an instant morph because of the collision on the side rails of the track itself. If we're holding down R at the same time, we can latch onto that spider track and roll right to the end of the puzzle where that key is. So please enjoy this slight waiting. Please enjoy this slight waiting as we give you some wonderful words of wisdom, a beautiful piano orchestra in the background, as both runners attempt difficult tricks to get major items for their game's progression. Please hold.
I hope you weren't expecting me to be playing the piano.
Well, that was a short hold. Nah, it's okay. Alright, so now Rico's attempting to get the instant morph on the spider track. He's gotta get right between the rails and be high enough where the instant morph registers. Well, while we take the short standby intermission to get both runners their major items, how are you today, Pineapple?
I have a headache and my voice is starting to run out.
I'd recommend getting a drink of ice water then.
I already have it.
Oh. Well, then I would recommend more ice water. Or colder water. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
And now I'm reminded of Star Trek.
I don't know where you got Star Trek out of any of that, but okay.
The doctor, whose name I've forgotten, saying, "I'm a doctor, not a speedrunner," or things like that.
Oh. Oh no, Rico's just given up on the puzzle to skip when he's going for the puzzle normally.
I don't think I've seen how you're supposed to do this before either.
Yeah, this is the normal or proper method to get Hall of Combat Mastery's item. And it's a good thing that Rico destroyed the quads before doing this, as the quads have a very high tendency to clip through the puzzle collision walls, and either A, damage you, or B, prevent you from moving altogether, due to the quad's legs just blocking your path. And Steve finally got it. Steve has Dark Visor. That's it. He's got it. This trick is over.
And another F.
Steve has gotten...
I missed some of those letters.
I think it's a good thing that you did. So, congratulations. Let's hear a round of applause for Steve for finally getting that trick. You know, that's a big old pat on the back for Steve. He's finally got it.
Clap while doing push to talk.
I mean, that sounds pretty difficult to do, but okay.
This puzzle is about as rude as the intended method of doing getting to plasma beam in Prime.
Yep, same sort of concept. Both puzzles that you can skip are pretty much that you always skip, and when you have to do them properly, they're always a headache.
What's in Hall of Combat Mastery in Vanilla anyway?
I believe in Vanilla it's just a missile expansion. I could be wrong, but I believe it's just a missile. Alright, so with that being said, now that Steve finally has Dark Visor, we're going to be continuing into either Aegon to go back and get Light Beam, which is recommended. Yeah, that looks like exactly where Steve is going. Going right for Aegon Waste to get some cleanup done and hopefully get Light Beam. Meanwhile, Rico has completed Hall of Combat Mastery. We have the Sky Temple Key. We are good to go.
If we can get to the spider track.
And yes, hopefully Steve does save and not take an unintended death. We do not want to do anything of Grand Chamber Windwall Hall again. And yes, I know I butchered that name. And there we go. We have a double save. GG's. We do not have to do we don't have to do either Hall of Combat Mastery or Wind Chamber Grand Hallway again.
Watering hole 1, 2, 1. Steve is counting rooms.
Oh, if it's exactly 3, he might be thinking it's locked in Ink's Cache 2.
No, in Cache 2 is 2.
Oh, that's right. I read the wrong room.
No, yeah, he's seen Doomed Entry. He's going there.
Yeah, I read the wrong one.
Meanwhile, Rico in FaceTime chat, nothing but pain on this planet.
I think it's a fair warning to say Lucarius should not be able to generate a race again for a while. We're just going to put him right up there on the ban list with all the other bad races this week. And the entire tournament, per se. I mean, it's been...
This entire tournament, Randomizer, has been out for blood. Some weeks more than others.
Okay, whoever... Metal, I see you recommended Gerbil. I think you know exactly what would happen. I'm going to ask you to please leave.
I don't know who Gerbil is, so I don't know the context.
Oh! Go play a Randomania with X Gerbil. You will find some cursed seeds, my friend. Gerbil is notorious in the Randomania community for making terribly cursed races and seeds and everything. It's just bad.
Worse than Jay, then.
Yeah, both are on the same. Both are on par with each other.
Yeah, pain, suffering, and horse manure. I don't think either of them is happy right now. But at least I think they don't... Given that they are both swearing at the scene, I don't think that either of them feels too far behind.
And Steve is now located Lightbeam. Don't worry, we're going to have plenty of questions for these runners during post-game interviews, so be sure to stay tuned for that.
Question number 1, how do you like turrets?
Question number 2, what do you have to say to Lucarius for making this? I'm waiting to hear their answer on that. And there's the information for Annihilator in Torvus, which is a wonderful location.
That, though, do we?
Well, first
in Battleground, as we knew.
That's pretty good to have. That makes Lower Torvus a heck of a lot easier. And since we know that Worms is not required, we are not going to bother picking up that key, as we are on the hunt for Torvus keys, as Rico makes their first steps into Torvus an hour and 25 minutes in. As we enter Torvus Bog, we immediately locate that poison bog.
Damn, it didn't actually read the head.
Yeah. Did not get any information on that.
No, Worms is a missile expansion, so we know for sure. Meanwhile, that's a key in Lagoon.
Oh,
that's key in Lagoon.
That's required. So, folks, you're about to see another trick be performed by Rico. This trick a lot easier compared to the others that we've been doing. This one is known as air underwater.
Oh,
now, air... Go for it.
I have seen some history with this trick. So what you're trying to do is morph into the same frame that you transition, I believe, into the water. I don't know if it matters. This makes the game a little bit confused about if you're in water or not, and lets you do things underwater that you shouldn't be able to do, like jump properly. And we're going to use that to get this key. So I had to put fun in scare quotes because I did do a race where someone was trying to do this, got it, and then bonked on the way to the key and had to get air underwater again.
Oh yeah, I remember the one you're talking about. I was there for it. that was heartbreaking to watch. But no, you are 100% correct on your explanation of air underwater. Yeah, the game puts us in a confused state of both land and water, which allows us to input a screw attack input underneath the water, which lets us fly across great distances and in turn get these checks without needing gravity boost.
I believe it was originally known as the screw attack underwater glitch. before they presumably found other uses.
Yeah, air underwater has a variety of uses for room skips and puzzle skips and everything in Torvus. But no, Rico is attempting to get that morph on the same frame that he enters the body of water. The exact same frame the camera transitions from land to water movement. So yeah, you are 100% correct, Pineapple.
Steve is doing some Aegon cleanup meanwhile.
And he got it. Rico's got air underwater. You'll know you have air underwater as it looks clear, and it looks like you are somewhat on land, but yet you know you are still in water. That is a confirmed way to know that you have it.
So there's a bunch of things we don't know where they are still. The other suit, Torvus keys, Torvus hints.
Yeah, but thankfully, thanks to Emerald Translator, we're able to get all of these Emerald
main
hints.
power bombs as well.
Oh, where was main PB's hiding?
Yeah, we haven't seen that. Steve's, they've both been running on expansions. And yep, thanks game. He's the Aegon Templar and Aegon. That is the 4th cheeseburger, meanwhile, in... I have been told there's in this room and I've forgotten.
I want to say this is Path of Roots. Yeah. Yeah, I want to say Path of Roots. Or Hall of Eyes, one of the two. Meanwhile, Steve has entered Hall of Combat Mastery and is going for the same trick that Rico attempted, where we try to get the instant morph on the spider track. Oh, been a little bit late on that morph. Meanwhile, Rico is in an abandoned worksite, grabbing the 3rd Sky Temple key. Rico is attempting it. Oh, a little too late on the morph again, and the quad just destroyed the pillar that Steve was using. Yep, and we're getting confirmation that room is Path of Roots. Thank you, Delta.
Delta's helped me a lot on commentary with my room name knowledge because it's still something I'm trying to learn.
Echo's room names are terrible because you have a light world and a dark world. Some of them are just flip-flop names. You have many different numbers and letters. It can lead to troubling times.
I'm actually not sure what's worse. Prime room names, Echo's room names, or Super Metroid room names.
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I don't know any of the other rooms. And here we're going to see Rico try to do a quick kill method on Torvus Temple. We're going to line up a super missile, and we're going to try to get both pirates with one missile. Can we get it? Nope, a little too late on the missile. And yes, Hazencliff was just an energy tank. We will certainly take more E. Energy is always useful.
We'll also use that excuse to reload this room. With the pillar in it again.
Yes, indeed. But we might want to destroy the quad first, though, because we don't want to have that get in the way.
Cheeseburger number 5.
Oh boy, I sure do love more cheeseburgers.
At least there aren't a bunch of room names starting with Ruined in Echoes.
Ah, that's a prime moment. Oh, but unfortunately, Steve is going to be locked here at Mini Gyro Chamber.
Was that Annihilator Beam in Torvus Energy Controller?
Oh,
the keys in Sank and Torvus.
Sanctuary and Torvus, that's really big information. And with Annihilator on Torvus Energy, that's going to be wonders for Avok. Avok being the Guardian.
Oh yes, the Temple Guardians. Umos, Aisha, Avok, Olir, and Egad.
Egad? Excuse you, I think you're confusing series.
I do not remember who dropped that joke during a race earlier this tournament, but it's something I've remembered.
Yeah, someone's definitely confusing series here.
No, I think that was a deliberate joke.
Anyway, no, I know.
We're
I
about
got
to
you.
see if Captain's correct today.
Does the famous words of Captain MD stand true? Does Underground Tunnel have progression for us? Well, it's certainly got a missile expansion, but what about the Emerald Translator hint? Well, we're about to find out.
This is a joke.
As Emerald Translator hint today tells us that... once it scans... well, I guess not! Well, thank you, Santa Claus. That's exactly what we wanted to see in Underground Tunnel. Yeah, that's real big information to help us win this race. Knowing about Santa Claus. And Steve, you are about to die due to this quad. Please go back and get some health.
Unfortunately, there's another quad in this room.
Yeah, he's alright. He's got the gold energy drop. Alright, what about Meditation Vista? Does Med Vista have anything of use for us today? Well, we can confirm that it's got some dark ammo on it, so absolutely not, thanks to us having unlimited. There's absolutely nothing that we need in Med Vista, nor Torvus Grove, and Underground Tunnel was just bait. So, we're going to keep on moving.
Plaza time. And Steve got spleefed again. Is Steve trying to stand on this quad to get in?
Yeah, it looks like Steve's trying to use the quad since it destroyed the pillars, and is trying to use that for either an instant morph or to screw attack into the actual tunnel hole.
I think he tried the screw attack just now.
That's the first. I would just reset the room and get the pylons back. I wouldn't bother with the standable on enemies. Very interesting way of going about it.
But 3 tanks and no suit damage reduction in this game means I need to go heal again.
Yeah, I personally would just reset the entire room.
And thankfully, these crates are just far enough away that we can get health every time. But it looks like Steve's heading back. E-tank in... I don't know what the half-pipe room is. But it's on the way to Torvus Plaza. Plaza access?
Yep, now we're in Torvus Plaza, and we're going to take a peek at what this item has. Meanwhile, Steve going back through Aegon after coming back off of the Sanctuary play. It looks like we're going to keep moving forward, do some Aegon cleanup. Unfortunately, with Amber Translator over in Sank Entrance, we are unable to get Amber hints, and we cannot get Sand Cash. taking this short amount of time, this little musical interlude, to recognize the wonderful music of Echoes. Yeah, composers put a great job into it. Torvus especially, Torvus is so calming and relaxing. You're going through all these battle-laced areas of Sanctuary and the vast wastes of Aegon. It's good to sit back with some calming music.
I must admit, the Echo soundtrack isn't as quite as iconic to me as the Prime soundtrack. I think that's mostly because I haven't actually listened to the Echo soundtrack all the way through like I have the Prime.
No, I get that. If I had to pick one soundtrack, though, if I had to go with one track, I would probably go with that Corruption for Brio Cliffside. That's a good track. And that's another Torvus key off of Forgotten Bridge. That
So
means the last key. Yes, indeed.
I don't know if I can pick just one track. Either the late Talon theme or the Syndrama theme. Those are two pretty good relaxing tracks. I think my favorite music that is not casual listening is the Thardus boss music.
Oh, interesting choice.
I enjoy piano music in not particularly relaxing contexts.
Yeah, I like to say all music has very special taste to it. And no matter what type of music you like or dislike, yeah, music has a way of bringing people together. All right, now we're going to see
pounds of beef. What?
Well, that's a sentence I wasn't expecting to hear at all.
Rundus, that's corruption, right?
Yes. Yeah, Rundus is the main boss of
corruption. So.
Yeah, Rundus is the main boss of the Brio planet for Brio Fiery. Outside of the Leviathan boss. I really gotta get back into Corruption. I haven't played it in forever. Alright, so let's start Torvus key number 2 for Steve off of Forgotten Bridge, followed by the STK here on Abandoned Worksite. Meanwhile, Rico is going through the remainder of Lower Torvus. And now Rico has to go with Underwater Seekers. Will they work the first time? No, they will not.
And now needs more missiles.
Alright, get your 4 out of 5s ready in chat.
4 out of 5 speedrunners would recommend you have more than 4 out of 5 missiles.
And here we see Rico once again going for air underwater. This way we can screw attack over to Gathering Hall and possibly the other rooms to skip going through the secret door. Yeah. And yes, chat, these are some Seeker missers. Just completely missing all over the place. Although I did say it earlier, I will say it again. I do think Corruption has a worse Seeker missile system.
Steve Weemal in Torvus Temple. I don't remember what was here, but about to get a light beam. Oh, it's the cheeseburger on the left, yeah.
Yep. Now Rico trying to get a missile drop off these flying little puffers. Unfortunately, not getting anything. Nope, there we go. We got a drop. We got one
I
drop.
wonder if Rico knows the trick where if you empty your missile ammo
2
to
drops.
0, you're more likely to force a 10. But this is now 2 attempts, and we're likely to need them both.
Here we go. Shot number 1, and he's got it. Alrighty, and the keys to Dark Torvus once again, Sanctuary and Torvus Bog. We have
useful information.
We have the 2 keys that we know are in Torvus, so we are aware that the last key that we need is over in Sanctuary. Meanwhile, we'll get the Emerald hint telling us that Amber is in Sank Fortress. Thanks, game. We found that a while ago. But thank you for attempting to give us some insight. Looks like Rico's going to destroy the blocks here. This will activate the kinetic orb cannon in the center of the room. This will let us use the orb, not the kinetic orb cannon, the little spinner. This lets us divert paths either to Gathering Hall or Transit Tunnel South. Either one works. Although personally I would go to Gathering Hall. That gets us into Dark Torvus through Under Transit 1. And will get us some more keys.
And they do need to do Under Temple.
Or correct. And there's the main power bombs, by the way.
In
training
one
chamber.
of the rooms. Right. Ah yes, the not so cursed training chamber.
So, Delta, you were asking about main PBs? They're right there.
Rico going to... This is Sank, isn't it? This level?
Yes, this goes to Sank Vault side. Now, this route does make some sense. We have the 1 key for Chica left here in Sanctuary, so it makes sense to go here now. Leave the cleanup for Torvus later, because Torvus is most likely where we're going to end today. So right now, the biggest thing Rico's doing here, we're looking for... Well, if we stumble across Light Suit, that would be even better. Although Light Suit is not required. We have no Light Suit luck checks.
Unless the last Torvus key is in Sank map.
Yeah, that's fair. If the last key
that would be horrible.
Yeah, if the last Torvus key is in Sank map oh, hold on, there's a red key there in Transit Station.
Yeah, at least it's not bombs in Transit Station. But it can't be this week.
Nope. And Rico's going for a nice slope jump into a screw attack to bypass this entire portal puzzle. The fastest and best way. Key. And this key is the last Torvus key. Alrighty, so with the last Torvus key in hand, it's safe to say that Rico is officially in go mode. There is no other major that we need to beat our game. We're ready to go.
So that was Poison Bog, but it's not relevant anymore.
Yep, that was a perfect location for that key to be.
Except that this door is locked.
That's okay, we don't need it. Yeah, so Rico has 3 SDKs. The entire rest of our keys are all the way in Torvus. We have 2 keys on Under Temple, 1 on Chica. Oh, nope, we do have 1 on a Cursed Lake. Okay, we will have to go back for a Cursed Lake.
And then
But we can.
a portal chamber, and that's it, I think. Oh,
Yep.
transport A access.
All right, we gotta go back and get the one off of Great Temple. Yeah, so Rico's solidly in go mode. He's just, as far as routing, I would say we're looking at possibly Under Temple first, followed by, probably followed by Portal Chamber, then Shika. Then we'll do the warp to start. We'll get Abandoned Worksite, then go to Great Temple, and then we'll be set. As for Steve, unfortunately, routing got the best of Steve in the end.
That's main highest key in there.
But I can't say that because Steve is not out of the race yet. Steve's still going on. So while Rico does have a good route in mind, Steve is nowhere near done.
I did not see that. Apparently, someone just got an accidental error in water. And Steve is having Seeker miss his fun.
Yeah, I would say Steve is really trying to find that last Torvis key, although he has the knowledge, or should have it, that it's over in Sanctuary.
But he's also, I think, next to Portal Chamber, this is?
Yep, we're going for Portal Chamber.
Since we know we need to come here anyway.
Yeah, it's just safe to say a lot of time lost due to Grand Wind Chamber. But the good thing is...
death.
And the death, yes. But the good thing is Steve has the gravity boost off of Battleground. So because of that, this is going to make his trip through Lower Torvis a lot faster.
I don't actually remember what the way into Temple access is. Is it here?
The normal way through Under Temple access would be going to where Alpha Blog is and taking the spider track on the opposite side of his chambers. That gets us to Under Temple.
Ah.
Or we can take a modified method where we go here towards Under Transit 1 off of Gathering Hall, and we can use this to go straight down, thanks to us having power bombs, right to underground, right to Under Temple as well. So one method involves these power bombs, one does not. Depends on which way you want to go. But without gravity boost, Rico does have to go this way. As the only other way out would be through a light portal in dungeon. And unfortunately, well, no, we can get that portal. What am I saying? But as far as getting to Dark World has to be done through Crypt due to lack of gravity boost. And it appears the Dark Pirates are giving Rico a headache as they just pushed him right off the ledge that he needed.
Rico trying to get done until we're getting very bullied by everything down here, really. Hi, RicoVizer. What are you doing here?
That's a very interesting place to have, Echo. Wasn't expecting it down here.
Rico going for ammo fish and also health fish at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, RicoVizer isn't going to do us much of anything. It's not real. It's not required this seed. Ah, but that's okay. Having Echo, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to have.
You know what the bigger question is? Where's Cobalt Translator?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. We could have gotten some Sank information. Thankfully, Sank's been practically dead. We don't need it. None of Sanctuary's been really required outside of Hall of Combat Mastery and Reactor Core. Oh, aside from the key, but look, the entirety of Upper Sanctuary got deleted. And yes, technically RicoVizer is needed for logic on the final Dark Samus fight, but we don't use it. Logic-wise, yes. Practicality use, no. So with that being said, it is now time for Rico to take on the Power Bomb Guardian. Yeah, Power Bomb Guardian's one of those fights that can only be fought in Morph Ball and has to be fought entirely in Morph Ball. It's a very interesting mechanic, but I think they do it well. We're just going to go around the entirety of the room, blowing up 4 bomb slots, and that's the fight.
I wonder if someone decided that Flogger wasn't emailing.
Interesting theory. Oh, and there's the information for Darkvisor.
Thanks, game.
Alright, with that being said, Power Bomb Guardian has been defeated. We are now going to get the STKs off of here and the Screw Attack item wall. That gets our key total up to 5. We'll have 4 Sky Temple keys remaining to locate. Meanwhile, Steve is over in training chamber getting the knowledge that Amber Translator is somewhere in Sanctuary off of Sank Entrance. We know that. He does not. As there's no information for it. It's just that somewhere in Sank has an Amber Translator. And there's main power bombs, which is going to route perfectly for Steve. This will get us right into Sanctuary Vault side, which in turn leads to the final Chica key that we've been missing. So then once we have this, we can route immediately out of Sanctuary. Although we will have to take a small little detour past Transit Station to Reactor Core, as we have not gotten that STK yet. And yes, Delta's making a great point. If for any reason you have to do Dark Oasis, if you need to do that check, you must get the item on Powerbomb Guardian. If you leave the room without getting that item, Dark Oasis gets permanently deleted. You will not be able to change the room layer to the proper one, and that item location is gone. So whatever item is on that in cache, it is just poof. You ain't gonna ever get it. But meanwhile, as Rico continues through the wonderful Dark Torvus Bog back to Gathering Hall,
Steve, what's the good news about Transit Station?
Yes, indeed. We got that final Chica key. That'd be great because we need to do Chica for an STK. Right now, again, Rico is effectively in go mode. We are just getting our key hints, or our keys. Can't say key hints. We already know where they are. Steve, on the other hand, yes, we have Dark Visor. We have all the beams, and we have the final Chica key. That effectively puts Steve in go mode as well. Light suit is not required. So it is safe to say that Steve will be just going for the keys as well.
And here's that method you described earlier about boosting onto the second ball, and then... Oh, I've not seen that way of getting into the hole.
Yep, all you gotta do is stand on top of it and jump right over it. That gets you the item. And now we're able to lower Mini Gyro Chamber, which will put us right to the spider side elevator. For whatever reason, I do not comprehend. Possibly doing this for an earlier route back if we ever have to go to Aegon. I can't see why we're... But it's good to get this out of the way.
Hall of Combat Mastery.
Ah, that's fair. Yes, Call of Combat Mastery. Yep, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for pointing that out. I completely forgot. So I would say it's safe to say we've got a race, folks. 2 hours in, Rico has 5 keys. Steve has 4, about to get the 5th. And with all the Chica keys in hand, this will come down to whoever gets all their STKs first, as both runners have the ability to get all of them.
And the fact that Rico lost Cannonball Air isn't too relevant because it's in cache 4 and that's very out of the way.
And now Steve going for the instant morph. Nope, he's going for the screw attack method instead. First, he wants to lure this squad away from the pylon that he's using. We do not want to destroy it. There he goes. He's got the instant morph. So now both runners are tied. 5 keys to 5 keys. Rico has to do Chica, Portal Chamber, the Cursed Lake, and there's another one on that list somewhere.
Transport A access.
Transport A, thank you. Steve, meanwhile, has 2 keys off of Under Temple, followed by, let's see here, Reactor Core
Cursed Lake and...
Yeah, they've got a lot to do.
Actually, I don't know what's these last key. Oh, Chica, of course.
Yep, speaking of Chica, we're about to see a Chica play by Rico here on the left side of your screen. This is going to route perfectly in for getting us the 6th Sky Temple key that we need, leaving only 3. Unfortunately, we did lose Cannonball, so we will not be able to speed up the fight by any means. We will have to do this normally. But first, we're going to pivot and get Portal Chamber Light along our path. And just like that, Portal Chamber is done. Very simple, in and out.
I think Steve is routing up to Dark Taurus Temple as well now.
Yeah, but they gotta do Under Temple first before they do that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta do Power Bomb Guardian still. And again, thanks to him having gravity boost, this makes the entire trip a heck of a lot easier, and we don't have to rely on air underwater. But most likely going to take a safety save. Alrighty, it's that time of the day, folks. 2 hours in, and we get to see the wonderful Chica. A very terrible boss fight in itself, one of which I personally have a vendetta against, just because it gave me so much trouble as a kid. Meanwhile, while Rico's doing Chica, Steve is making the first play into Power Bomb Guardian. So we got 2 amazing Dark Taurus fights going on simultaneously. Would be nice if we had double damage here, but unfortunately we do not. So for the Chica fight, nothing too terrible that we can do to speed up the fight. We are going to stand to the side and spam fire Annihilator Beam. Thanks to a scanning Chica, this allows us to lock onto its weak point. And we got a good, I'd say about 60% damage done on the first cycle. So that means we'll have a solid 2 cycle in just a minute. And the reason we stand to the side and spam fire is A, and the fastest beam to fire. B, we're already locked onto the weak point, and C, we're standing to the side so that chicken does not attack us, and we get more dwell time on the platform. And that's the larva phase down. Now it's time for Chica Adult. Nothing too terrible that we can do to speed up the fight. We are going to spam Fire Annihilator to stun it. Then we're going to walk around to the back of Chica and use our Seeker missiles to destroy all 4 wings at the same time.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Now we're going to do Annihilator again and attempt it once more.
Yeah, unlimited beam ammo does make both phases of Chipper a lot more pleasant.
And thankfully, we did get a perfect Seeker. So now it's time for phase 2. Alright, phase 3 is just a repeat of phase 1. We'll stun, and then use Seekers on the wings.
And then we blow up the box. Yeah, and then we're done.
Alright, with that being said, Steve has defeated Powerbomb Guardian. We've got the key off of the Guardian's item, and now we're grabbing the next Sky Temple key off the Screw Attack wall. That makes a solid 7 for Steve, and the 7th one for Rico as well, just upon completion of Chica right now. There's the final hit. There's the STK. This Chica fight is over. So both winners are neck and neck, both with 7 STKs. Rico's
only a couple of minutes ahead.
And just slightly, Steve is a little bit behind. They do have to do the Chica fight. That will add a little bit of time to the clock.
Yeah, that's basically the time difference at this point.
Yeah. And it is safe to note that you do not need the Taurus energy for anything in this entire game outside of story progression. There is nothing linked to that energy.
So we just boost around the back of the bomb slot and reload the room.
Or I should make a slight correction. Nothing linked to it that we need. Yeah, maybe some room layer changes, but that's at best. Alright, and with that being said, we're back in Dark Forgotten Bridge, and we can go right back to Light World. As for Rico, we still have to do Transport A access in Great Temple. We still have to do a Cursed Lake over in Temple Grounds. Or technically Sky Temple Grounds, regardless. And then there's a 9th key. No, there's not, because 8 and 9, those are the last 2 that we need.
Steve also needs a Cursed Lake.
Yeah, Steve needs a Cursed Lake and Chica. That's the last 2. So this is going to come... Unfortunately, with this elevator... I don't know if the elevator would be the fastest method. And I would say the save warp might be a little faster. But with that, Steve is going right for Chica, just a few moments behind. That's going to take another safety save, just in case. And now we're going right for the elevator to Great Temple so that we can get Transport A access. Nope, we cannot use this elevator as Transport C access has not been unlocked. We have to go through either Transport A or Transport B, which is all the way back on Temple Assembly Site and Sentinel's Path or Sentinel's Bridge. We do have to take a small detour.
Sang, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why. I got mixed up on the room names. Sentinel's Bridge, I believe it's called. I could be wrong.
Oh look, I think Gerbil has been summoned by the talk earlier.
Sacred Bridge, thank you. I don't know why I'm getting Sentinel's Bridge from at all. Sacred Bridge is the name of the room. I don't know where Sentinel came in.
Just proves that room names are hard and it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, even I still have some hiccups here and there. So don't worry, you're not alone, Pineapple.
Well, you actually play this game.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I'm good at it. I do a lot more commentary than I do playing, and there's a very specific reason why. Because I'm terrible at it.
Well, you've at least beaten the game vanilla.
Yes, yeah. Yes, Gerbil, I am not...
We have not seen light suit. I don't think we've seen a hint of the second bit either, have we?
We have no knowledge of light suit at all. And as Rico goes to enter the Great Temple, Steve has just completed Chica Larva and is moving on to Chica Adult with a 1-frame pause. Steve's got to hurry though, as Rico just collected the key up Transport A access and is moving right for a Cursed Lake. Unfortunately, Steve, you were on the wrong side. You're on the incorrect side of the Adult. You cannot fire from the side. You must be behind.
Oh,
Unfortunately, this will add an extra phase to this first section of Chica Adult.
I don't know if Rico thinks he may have seen light suit in Mining Plaza. It was looked at by the Carnival people, and it was a light ammo.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was just... There's nothing... No way that we were going to go back to Aegon at all. And Steve, Light Beam is your friend for this section. Please use Light Beam. Thank you.
I did not know lighting did not work on that until just now.
Okay, so now Rico's going for a Cursed Lake. That'll be the final STK. Unfortunately, Steve is still fighting Chica. The good thing about this is once Chica is down, Steve only has to do a Cursed Lake, which most likely will be taking a save warp out. Oh, speaking of, is that the suit? No. Yeah, that's the light
That's
suit
the
off of Pod
suit.
W. Huh. Oh, look at that. The light suit is right along the way to get the last STK. How fitting.
Hi, Sestrion.
I mean, it's a very interesting location. Alright, Steve is continuing. He's almost done with Chica Adult. A few more shots of Light Beam. That's it. Chica's over. Rico has the key on the Cursed Lake. Steve has the key off of
Rico does not,
Chica.
because the tentacle's in the way.
The Ying is hindering the process of getting the key. Oh, now we got it. Alright, Steve is going to be taking a save warp from the elevator. From the save station, going back to landing site, using that to go to Temple Assembly site, getting the both light suit and the STK. And this will come down to the Rico has this pretty much in the bag if he doesn't take another death. Now, if Rico does take a death here, this will give Steve the opportunity he needs to make up some time.
How did we not get this campfire information message yet? Oh, is... Oh. Oh, this is the easiest way back, I see.
Yes, the fastest method would be... This saves us from taking 2 elevators, one to Great Temple, and the other one going down to Meeting Grounds. Well, with that being said, I mean, the elevator's right there on Temple Assembly site. We could be doing this for a safety save and some ammo refills.
Yeah.
That being said, Steve has just gone to landing site. Rico is just coming out of landing site. We're going to be using... Steve's got to hurry, though. He's got to hustle over to a Cursed Lake. And that's that. Rico has just entered Sky Temple grounds. With the final secret door being removed, Rico
I was about
takes
to
a
say the
short
final boss,
pathway.
but no, that's not coming up. But
We take the short pathway to the gateway, input the keys, and it is time for us to go for the final boss. Steve has just come off of a cursed lake and is now hurrying back to the same place Rico was in. Now, the only way Steve has a chance of pulling off a victory over Rico is if Rico takes an unexpected death.
and I think at this point it has to be a death because not even getting centered is enough.
No, there's just no time.
Screw attack is such a reliable move. So, welcome to Emperor Ring. 3 phases. The first one, you got to shoot these tentacles, then shoot inside the ball, and hope your shots will get blocked. We're probably going to spam now, though, for being given. Oh no! Okay.
Rico's got to be careful, though. We are low on missiles. Fair point. Oop, alrighty, and we've got... No one cycle today for Emperor 1. Given a little bit of time for Steve to catch up here.
Now Emperor 2, we just got to blow up all these tentacles, and we have lots of power bombs, so... I think 9 power bombs is the most I've seen anyone have in any of these races.
It is quite a large amount, yeah.
I think I've seen 8, but that was with duplicated main power bombs.
As Rico nearly completes Emperor Ring 2, Steve just enters Sky Temple grounds.
Probably going to do right. Oh, no, there we go. And now Emperor Ring 3, where we're just going to step on Emperor Ring 3's feet and be gone.
Yes, indeed. As there was, long story short, there was meant to be an additional damage step or way to damage Emperor Ring 3 by utilization of Screw Attack. That damage step was sort of removed. That entire phase was scrapped. But the developers left over the damage hitbox. And because the hitbox is still technically active, we can use Screw Attack on said hitbox in order to cause massive damage, as we see right now. And we're aiming right for the feet and ankles area, and that's where that hitbox is hiding. Now Enrico's getting punished by Emperor Ring 3 here, getting knocked around all over the place.
And this is where that light suit is helping, because we're not taking Dark Lord damage at the same time as this.
Absolutely. Oh, Rico's low on energy. We're only running 2 E-tanks.
Yeah, no.
That's alright, we're good. We're good.
And that's
it.
a checkpointed save there, and a full heal. Oh, only 5. Steve has, right.
So as Rico leaves Emperor Ring's chambers, Steve just is about to enter them. Both runners high-fiving at the Screw Attack wall. Absolutely, Marcus Mask. This was a close race.
It
There was a
did feel like it wouldn't be close in places, but it's ending up pretty close. Yeah.
the ending route was just so pristine and perfect for both runners that they made up tremendous time from their original losses. And now Steve's just spamming Annihilator Beam, unfortunately not getting any hits. So that will be at least a 2-cycle Emperor Ring 1. Alright, now Rico's going for Dark Samus 3. We're trying to get a stun lock here. Possibly going for screw attack method. We gotta wait for Dark Samus to crash down. We're gonna fire. Oh, we missed the fire. Did not go for screw attack. Dark Samus is right behind us. Where is she? We can't see her. Rico's attempting to locate her. Oh, there she is, finding her with Echo Visor. All right, so now she's going to charge up again. We will have to wait for her to come crashing back down before we can attempt another attempt at Dark Samus 4 skip. Alright, successful super missile, got some good damage off. Now Rico's trying to go for the stun lock using Dark Beam and missiles. He's trying. He's got her in a fairly good position here, folks. And thanks to unlimited beam ammo, we're good, but we are low count on missiles. We are only down to about 14, so we do have to hold on, see how much we can get.
I'm glad you can read that missile count, because I can't.
Yep, down to 10 missiles. We are not going to have enough missiles for this full completion of the fight. At the same time, Steve is just coming off of Emperor Ring 3. He's still going through the fight. Rico's shy of 5 missiles now, doing some great damage. Down to 3. Down to 2. One more missile. That's the last missile. That's time. He had just enough missiles to pull it off. Geez, that was a close one.
Yeah, it was close. So that's an official race time of 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 37 seconds. And Steve has seen that Rico has finished and I believe forfeits just after this Emperor. Ooh. Getting very good at Ring 3.
Absolutely. Hello. So with that being said, we're joined by Rico and Steve following momentarily once he's done with Emperor Ring 3. Still trying to get it. There we go. That's a screw attack. And Emperor Ring 3 has been defeated.
Oh, he was really close.
You high-fived on the screw attack wall.
Welcome, Steve.
GG's.
Jeez, you both put up an amazing race. But there is one question that I must ask, and you might know what it is.
How do you like turrets?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? How did I like what?
How do you like turrets? And this is a question to both of you. How do you like turrets? And this is a question to both of you.
Turrets.
I like them dead with extreme prejudice.
I hate turrets so much. I lost so much time because of that turrets.
Yeah,
got you both in that race.
You both did the exact same thing. You did it at different times. Steve, you did it first. Rico, you were shortly thereafter. You did the exact same method and died in the same manner. You both did boost ball in that turret tunnel before sank entrance. And Steve, what happened from your side?
For my side, that's just I was kind of rushing, thinking sank entrance was a play because I had Emerald at that point in time, and I just dove straight into there thinking go fast, so boosted all the way back, and then two of those extreme turrets decided to execute me with extreme prejudice, so hence I didn't return to Torvis.
I understand that. Rico, what happened on your side with the same sort of context?
I thought I was in a safe spot to take him out with beams and preserve my one power bomb. I was not.
Yeah, that was...
you can power bomb those turrets and they'll reach, but...
that was heartbreaking to see.
In the end, Sank Entrance, I don't know if it was anything or not, but
it was Amber Translate, which...
Oh, that was Amber?
That was your Amber.
Amber Translator didn't actually reveal that much, which...
No, I considered passing it up, but I grabbed it because at that point I hadn't gotten the hint for the yet, and I figured it would be just my luck that it would be an Amber hint.
What were you looking for? You cut out in the middle there.
The Chaika keys.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, it turned out that was Torva's energy.
That was hinted at Torva's, yeah. Energy controller, yep. Let's say I grabbed that hint, and I did not, Rico, I didn't grab Amber, I didn't grab Cobalt.
I never even saw Cobalt.
I have no idea where it is. It's probably something horrible like ATS or Volt. Actually, can Cobalt be on Airy?
Yes.
With where Echo was, I wouldn't doubt it.
We're about to find out though, because... but yeah, you both struggled with a couple of the same tricks. Hall of Combat Mastery and Grand Wind Chamberway.
I was about to say Wind Chamber is the one that can just wholeheartedly eat every expletive I can offer. I just can't say them here.
Or a family-friendly
channel.
I got it much quicker the second time around.
Yeah, Rico, you took...
You had to do that twice. Steve's sweary moment in Race Time chat was when he got the standable and then bonked on the way to Dark Visor.
Yeah, that little extra step ledge in the actual on the top of that thing. I bonked off of that on the screw attack and got shoved out.
You want to try and screw a cancel into that.
We were hyping you up and chat. We were saying you finally got it, and then came the bonk of no return.
Yeah.
The bonk of no return. Unlimited missiles in Dark Oasis.
Yeah, y'all were never getting that.
Getting that.
Nope.
Oh, and Cobalt and Vault. So you got lucky with your missiles at the end there, Rico. You had just enough.
Yes, I did. But I had missiles for the entirety of that.
That's fair.
I had to change my routing multiple times. Missile drop.
Yeah. That was I speculated that you don't know that if you have no missiles, it's easier to force 10 drops, because there are a couple of times you destroyed things with...
Yeah, I know. I just only needed one shot, so I figured I have everything else that'll give me missiles. It didn't.
Yeah. The other trick that you both struggled with was getting the key in Hall of Combat Mastery.
Yeah,
today was not my day.
That one has always annoyed the absolute daylights out of me, based off of, the quads there always loving to destroy that shelf.
Yeah, I think you had that destroyed like 2 or 3 times, and you almost died to them a couple of times as well.
Well, I almost died to them at one spot because I was trying that obscure you can stand on a quad trick, and then the 2 quads were right there simultaneously, because I swear I lost an E-tank and a half in about 2 seconds, which is what made me back out, because I thought I had a tank, and then I was up at about I swear I was around 150 health, and all of a sudden, bam, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm like, oh crap. Nope, let's get out of here. Reload. Actually, I think that's when I decided
ended up doing the vanilla method for that, because he was struggling to get in.
Oh.
Yeah, that's one of those tricks where I either get it immediately or I just can't get it. And today was the day I just can't get it.
And today was the day I learned that getting that vanilla is about as bad as getting to plasma processing for the vanilla in Prime.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
Oh yeah,
It's even worse if you don't kill the quads first, because they can hit you in the puzzle and knock you off whatever platform you're on.
Yeah, Marion
Yep.
mentioned that.
Yeah, I've had that happen too
What
many
item is
times.
in there in vanilla?
I still say it's a
missile.
missile.
Yeah.
It's just, that's horrible.
Yep.
You know what? Thinking of horrible, let's go back to the very beginning of this race. You know, it was a great start, and then we had a 5-minute route divergence. Rico, you went immediately for Temple Grounds, a great temple. You went for the first loop, and you must have been pretty happy with what you found there.
Very happy.
Yeah, Steve, your dark beam came a little bit later than expected.
Yeah, just a little bit, but
Yeah.
that was of
so
my
did
own
Light Beam as
making.
well.
So
Oh, yeah, you trying to find light beam was an interesting time.
It was for a while. I was wondering if you had forgotten the hint or not thought it. Then when we finally saw you look at the map and work out that it had to be in doomed entry, you went back for it. But was there a reason you didn't go back there? Consider that earlier.
oh goodness, I know I had a thought process in my head at the moment, and where was I? What was I doing at that point in time? Because I know by the time I'd gotten the hint, I had already. Where was that hinted at? I cannot remember. I believe it was a violet hint.
I think it was in Great Temple.
I could be
was the half pipe room, I believe.
Meeting
No,
ground.
the half
Meeting
pipe.
grounds.
Meeting ground. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, I was dedicated because I had dark suit at that point, didn't I? Because I was dedicated to STK hints at that moment. So I took that information, put it off to the side. SDK hints, logged it, then thought, okay, I gotta go back into Aegon, but was that when I diverted and headed back to Windchamber, or?
Yeah, you took a mini detour through Windchamber to try it again.
And that was one of the reasons I was thinking about that, because having light beam would have been useful for doing that solution vanilla, which is something you don't want to do, but it may have ended up saving time if you'd had it.
In that case, I'm certain with the amount of time I spent in that puzzle, that might have been the faster method, but
that puzzle is terrible. I'm sorry.
I've got to become versed in those BSJs, because I know you got the screw attack way to skip that, which I was doing, and then I know there's the BSJ method to get up on that ledge. It's just I can't pull it off to save my life yet. But
you had a good start to it, I'll give you that. It was just trying to get the camera lock into the instant unmorph was what really messing with it.
Yeah. But now I'm amongst other tricks in this randomizer. That's another one that it's been a while since I needed the Windchamber skip anyways, so I hadn't practiced that in a week or two either, so that's another reason why it took so long. But either way, that time sink right there, I know, is a good reason why I was out of this one. Although witnessing the screen as it sits right now, I would have lost another 5-10 minutes easy, because I screwed that final fight up.
Yeah, what happened with it?
Did you screw attack into the lasers?
Yeah, I screw attacked into the lasers, yep. And I got the
is that why you forfeit? Because you
yep.
there?
Yeah, that's a crash.
Ah, okay.
That screen right there is my crash screen, so I just...
Yeah, it's game over right there.
I was going to see the forfeit come in, but that explains why.
Yeah.
You know, let's go over some other notes down here. We already covered how Windchamber Grand Hallway was a nightmare.
Do you have any string repeatable words for Lucarius?
I'm sorry. Wait, what?
What would you like to say to Lucarius for generating your race tonight? Please note we are
I'm
family friendly.
I'm gonna
Honestly-
give him a pass because I'm gonna say that because this was him at 2 a.m. This was a little bit of a I'll give him the pass based off of the idea of why am I doing this at 2 a.m. Otherwise, yeah, no, that's yeah, you trying to steal some thunder there from our good friends Jay and oh dang it, who's the other infamous one?
I'd throw Gerbil into that and mix hands down. Sorry.
I don't
That is-
know if either of these people know Goebbels' reputation, but that did get mentioned in commentary.
Jay,
I know
Gerbil. Baja's got some terrible ones, though.
I know this
I
tournament.
have a story
Jay has
relating to the
been-
new patcher and Gerbil.
Oh?
One of the reason, I'm pretty sure that one of the reasons why they changed the GFMC loop was because of an incredibly cursed seed that I did with Gerbil once, where the
Oh?
seed became uncompletable because main power bombs ended up on top of the ship.
Oh, good luck.
Every power bomb
Wow.
expansion was power bomb locked, as was Screw Attack.
Yeah, no, you can't beat it then. That's
I
impossible.
can't remember which one, but like, one of the devs was sitting in and watching it and commenting on how much we'd screwed it up.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a story.
that's impossible. Okay, let's see. What else is on this handy-dandy notepad? We already covered the route differences. Finding grapple beam and dark beam way later than expected. Rico, you had a bit of a headache trying to get reactor core today, it seemed.
Oh god, I've never had that much trouble with that damn room.
So something Marion mentioned is that if you boost off of the first ball onto the second ball and then unmorph on that, it's a lot easier to be able to stand up and screw over.
I was a little surprised why you were trying to go for the bomb jump on top of the glass method. I haven't seen that one before.
Because I can never land the boost. I can usually land the
okay.
bomb jump.
Right, I see. Okay. You got hit by like the same lightning strand like 5 different times.
Yep.
I mean, at least that to your credit on your last attempt, which you did get, you did sort of destroy a res bit on your cannon fire. So that was quite nice.
The rest bit deserved it.
Oh, you wound up loading that section of the room? Oof. Now I've always the way I ran that one, yeah, you get up on, you use the cannon, get off to the second ball, do the boost across, go up to the top of that. That's the key. Is you just when you get up to the top of that that first ball outside of the center, you get up to the top of it, then you can unmorph as normal, and you'll just stand there, jump over on top of the glass. And where the item is, that circle actually creates a little bit of a standable in the corner. And if you hold down on your spider ball, when you morph, it'll just pop you right in the hole.
I mean, I hadn't seen that method, but I've seen people screw straight into the hole.
I've tried that a while, but it was either week 2 or week 3. I saw somebody actually just shove themselves in the corner and was able to morph from the corner. So it was like, oh, I didn't realize that, and found out, yeah, it's completely standable there. So
yeah,
ever since then, that's just been, because you don't even need to screw attack that one. It's just jump right there.
Yeah, so with that, let's see what else is on here. Might as well cover your STK locations. You both got Sky Temple keys fairly early. I mean, Super Missiles on Judgment Pit, Seekers following on Storage B. So it was well within a sub-hour for your keys. But then you got the actual locations.
The locations weren't bad. I just screwed it up and lost so much time.
I was about to say, Chica was the only thing on there that I saw that made me go, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, but Chuck is a fun boss fight.
It can be.
The other thing about that is that Rico had found Cannonball and then lost it.
I never found Cannonball. Where was it?
It was in
Ink.
Cache 4.
Yeah.
Dark beam locked.
Yeah, and you didn't have Dark Beam on your first route to Aegon, so it was like, Yeah, there's not really an incentive to go back for in-cache 4 unless it's really hinted at.
To be fair, I was about to throw away Cannonball anyway because I wanted to grab that STK.
Are you sure 4? I thought I hit 4.
And it
4
was
is
in
the one
4.
that start. Yeah, it's the one in the Jump Guardian loop that's behind the Dark Beam door.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, on the bright side, at least your Torvus keys weren't terrible. Torvus Lagoon, Forgotten Bridge, and Transit Station, so they were pretty all right.
Transit
I
station.
was panicking a little because
You
of that
both-
hint. Because it only had 2 locations, so I didn't know which region had the second key.
Right. Well, the good thing is you both got bailed out. You both did the same thing. Go to training chamber, take the Torvus elevator all the way to Sank Vault side, and you got bailed out by seeing Transit Station. Oh, here's a big old red key right in front of you.
Yeah, no, I know that routed in pretty well when I was figuring out my first trip around Hall of Combat Mastery. It's like I can't get through the gyro puzzle from this side, so inevitably I got to come from another side. And I figured with that many keys being in Torvus, I had already dedicated the idea of coming Torvus side back into Sank from there. And to see that just pop right there, scan it and see Torvus, it's like, oh, thank goodness, I'm just gonna deal with this now. And that's as much Sank as I did. Pop through that side, go back to Hall of Combat Mastery, get that key, and then right back out through Torvus side.
Yeah, you both just left Upper Sank alone. It was so not required. It was amazing. Oh, so with that being said, I mean, we still have a few extra minutes. If anyone has anything they'd like to comment, any further questions or concern from chat, Pineapple, if you have anything on your mind.
The only thing that's on my mind is a headache.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hopefully you feel better, though. But I'm not seeing any requests from chat. We covered the only one that Marker's Mask had.
Do you have any last thoughts, either of you two?
I'm not really thinking much about, or I don't think I've got much else to comment on about this particular race and this seed outside of, once again, GG's over there to Rico. But I'm gonna say straight up, I've had me some fun. This is the first tournament I've ever done, and I've been having these past 6 weeks have been nothing but fun. So I want to give a shout out to everyone who's had any kind of hand in anything involving Randomania, the community here, anybody that's actually just anybody who's helped do anything at all, and including the Discord community, everyone that's on this, just so much fun I've had this past 6 weeks. It's been such a time. So grateful to have just be here and do this. This has been an experience and a half, and I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Rico, anything on your side, my friend? Okay, I got that. Big old deep sigh of relief.
I mean, it's been a lot of fun, but for me, like, it's been rather stressful because the timing of this tournament kind of happened during the worst possible time it could have for me.
Oh dear.
Because at work they hired a new employee, except they hired her in a completely different country, and so we've had to work double shifts to train her.
Oh no, I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah, so I haven't gotten nearly as much time as I wanted to just put into this, but even with all that said, I did have a blast.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you know what? That's what matters in the end. As long as you have fun, that's the big thing. You know, it's all about coming out and having a good time. So with that being said, Pineapple, any final remarks on your side before we close our program for tonight?
Follow the runners.
Yep, that was...
I put the link in chat.
Alright, so with that being said, let's go and put these bot commands back out. That's 1, that's 2, Computer.
Yeah,
Okay, I guess we don't get anything. That's fine. That's
well, it's
okay.
not like kind of a stream, so.
All right. With that being said, thank you everyone for joining us here tonight on Speed Gaming for the final week of our Swiss stage of the Echoes tournament. We have 2 races left before we reach our bracket stage. Tomorrow, Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central, we'll have Nye versus Bra Incorporated with Baja and Drake on commentary, with an interesting runner's agreement of Out of Bounds. So Out of Bounds will be permitted for tomorrow's race at 1 p.m. Stay tuned for that, because Out of Bounds breaks this game so much.
The other race was on the schedule. I don't know what's happened to it.
There was a second race scheduled. Unfortunately, that has been moved to an async due to some timing constraints and some difficulties with scheduling. So that race will count towards the bracket. It's just not going to be streamed. It'll be on the async side. So with that being said, Steve, Rico, thank you both for joining us here today. It was a pleasure watching you race. You were neck and neck for the longest time. You both put on a great, fantastic show. You should both be proud of how far you've gotten. Pineapple, thank you for joining the commentary booth today. It's always a pleasure having someone else up here.
Thank you for stepping in with me, because and yeah.
And the two of you commentators, thank you guys for coming on in here, bringing the entertainment. Let's not leave you unthanked.
Well, that's okay.
I'm going to go back to bed. It's 4 a.m. and I have a headache.
All right, with that being said, we appreciate all the kind words. If you'd like to stay up to date with either Rico or Steve, if you'd like to follow their channels, they're posted below. You can follow Pineapple or myself if you'd like to, except I don't stream, so you're not going to find anything. I'm sorry. But if you'd like to stay up to date with the Metroid Prime Randovania community, Randovania in general, or more information in regards to the Echoes tournament, all the information's been posted below in the last bot. So with that being said, we're going to see everyone tomorrow for Sunday's race with Out of Bounds. But until then, stay safe. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you next mission.
See you next mission.
So.